Alright guys, welcome back. This time we're going to talk about raised bed gardening, tomatoes. Okay, so in our last video we talked about a few simple basics when it comes to soil. I prefer to start all of my starts separately and then transfer them into the raised bed gardens. That way you get a better chance of growing successfully. Right? When it comes to tomatoes, I always start in starts, plants in the ground, spaced. Really doesn't matter. Like I do them sometimes 4 inches apart, sometimes 6 inches. Sometimes I'll give them a good foot around them. Right? These guys are super awesome because when they grow, you can decide to put them in different angles to angle away from each other so that they all get even amounts of sunlight. Right? Assuming that you have a sunny area, that is. Okay, so you can see these guys over here are tightly bunched together. Some of them are woven together, right, so that they support each other. Now I have them tied to the supporting structure to take the weight off of the vine from the tomato, so that they'll continue to be able to grow. When you're in the bushing stage, when it's vegging out, basically at that stage I tend to drought and drench the soil. I'll go ahead and let them suffer a little bit, like once every other day, like once every 2 days. I'll go without watering for a day or two. And that causes them to search out that water and get their roots nice and deep. And by getting their roots nice and deep, they'll suck in those nutrients. When you go into the fruiting stage, you want to water them regularly. You want to water them adequately. That way they start to produce a lot more fruit. They'll fruit everywhere. Like you see right here, my tomatoes fruit everywhere. And the reason why they do that is because they're taking a lot of nutrients, and then I cut out all the suckers. I'll show you what a sucker is. Here you have your main stem, then you have a branch coming off of it. You have the branch coming off of it right here. And between the main stem and the branch, you have a little sucker. That right there? That right there is what you take and you cut it out to clone it once it gets a little bit larger than that. Or you can, what I normally do is I just pull them out of here. Like I'll take this one right here and see if I see it. That one right there. I'll take those out. I'll just pull them out. And by doing that, what it does is it allows it to put all of its energy towards the fruit instead of towards vegging. The vegging stage, you want it to branch out and give you lots of different branches to choose from, right? And then you cut out all of the suckers that are going to sap the nutrients out. Now, to get tomatoes to ripen, the easiest way I found is you just take with a small shovel, and this is about 2.5 foot planter box. Let's see if I can get the camera down a little bit. There you go. See, it's about 2.5 foot planter box. Those little tomatoes I can eat. And about halfway through, I have all of my tomatoes. There's a back row and a mid row, right? Spaced 4 inches this way and 4 inches this way. There's 4 of them right there. Then you have another one toward the center in between it. And then that right there is the same. That one right there is the same one as this one. And then those two back over there, are spaced 4 inches from there and then 3 inches apart or so. You know, it's all rough. It really doesn't matter. As long as you're continually feeding it and as long as it gets the nutrients it needs, it doesn't really matter. You can plant them basically right on top of each other. But when it comes to ripening the fruit, just take a small spade or a shovel and just right in between them. You want to go down about 6 inches You're cutting the roots. And by cutting the roots, the plant's going to freak out and say, oh crap, I'm about to die. I need to hurry up and finish my life cycle. I need to ripen these fruit, right? And at the same time I do that, I take and I cut out the tops of all of the branches. So it doesn't want to push out any further. Make sure I cut off all of the tops, right? And when it comes to this stage where they're almost all starting to yellow or starting to change a little bit, right, I go ahead and let most of the suckers continue to grow, and hopefully I'll get a second major harvest like this. By doing these rotating patterns, I tend to get a lot of fruit. This is my smallest yield I've ever had with tomatoes. Normally I get enough. I eat tomatoes would be my main fruit, so to speak, because yes, it is a fruit. And then I also get a crap ton to can, sauce, and puree, and all that kind of stuff. Now, I always get a variety of different kinds of tomatoes. Over that last bed, we have 3 different species. We have the early Cascade, the Oregon hybrid, or something like that, and then right here, a third one, we have the cherry tomatoes, which my wife devours. Over here we have our beef tomato, our big beef tomato, which I was told can't ripen here. They've never got them to ripen here. And as you can see, I've actually taken out, I think it was like 14 of these big tomatoes from here. And knowing the way that this area is, I made sure to grow these 2 massively tall, because I wanted to fruit a lot. I wanted them to get a lot of sunlight. And right now, it's 4 in the afternoon, and we don't have very much sun anymore at the base. But up here, it's still able to get that sunlight. So when I do this, all throughout right here, to the center part where the crossbeam is, right, everything is tied off, everything is supported, so that this becomes its new base height. Yes, it takes a lot of energy for it to pull the nutrients out of the soil up to the top up here, but this right here gives it an extended season for these tomatoes. These ones are what are they called? They're the chocolate pear tomato. Chocolate pear tomato. They're absolutely delicious. They start off with this green, and they go into an orange and red color, and they eventually turn this pretty chocolatey color when they're just about ready. They're absolutely delicious. I love them. Actually, I prefer them to the cherry tomatoes by far. These beef tomatoes, I was told that we can't grow, can't ripen here, so I grew them tall again so that they get sun the majority of the day. These ones I didn't go through and top other than the suckers. I pulled most of the suckers out. I actually had to graft one of the clones I took from here. I had to graft it back onto this plant's root base so that this one here would take off. Like, I'll get a close up. Hold on. I'll get a close up. Let's go from the other side. Okay, you see right in there? The plant split out, right? And the original main stem is this one, right? See how much smaller that is? This right here was just a small little sucker off to the side, and everything else there, it was topped. Like a bird came over and ate it, right? And so I grafted right onto here, this little nodule right here. I grafted this little guy on there and let it take off. So I knew it was going to live because of that sucker, but as you can see, hold on, look at this sucker's tiny. That one sucker right there, this one right here, is tiny. We would have gotten a small amount of fruit from this little guy. But because I grafted onto it, it's massive. Like, I'm 6 foot tall. You guys saw how big these guys are. This one right here is about 6'6", almost 7, and this one's got another like 5-6 inches on that one. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was fertilizing just a little bit ago. That's all from last night. The tomatoes are super simple. I mean, I've never met anyone who's been able to completely destroy them, other than just not watering them, you know. Tomatoes will take care of themselves. Like, you don't have to do anything. But if you follow what I suggested, you should get a really good yield. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing if you've done that, liking if you do that, comment anything you guys want. I really don't censor the comments. Say whatever you guys want. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.